Okay, we are recording. A man smelling of booze and cigarettes sat down on a subway next to a priest. His tie was stained and he had red lipstick on his collar and face was and red lipstick on his collar and face. And half-empty bottle of gin was sticking out of his torn coat pocket. He opened his newspaper and began reading. After a few minutes, the man turned to the priest and asked, "Tell me, Father, do you happen to know what causes arthritis?" The priest replied, "My son, it's caused by loose living, consorting with cheap, wicked women, too much alcohol, contempt for your fellow man, sleeping around with prostitutes, and lack of a bath." The drunk muttered to himself, "Well, I'll be damned." Then he turned back to his paper. The priest, thinking about what he had just said, nodded to the man and apologized. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come out on so strong. How long have you had arthritis?" The man replied, "I don't have it, Father. I just was reading here that the Pope was suffering from it." All right. All the people I'm going to omit now missed all of that. um, what I'd like to do this morning, instead of a tip of the day, I would like you to grab a pencil and paper. Pen and paper is fine. And we're going to have a little quiz. It's a 22, I think, question quiz about the basics of the iPhone and iPad, which we covered in the last 3 weeks. Right, 3 weeks. And just a little review. Also, I look at quizzes as an educational tool, or a test as an educational tool. It does two things. It reinforces what you know and says, "Oh, I didn't know that." And you get a chance to find out what the answer to that particular question might be. So I'm going to share my screen. Everybody see that okay? Will somebody unmute yourself? Hey, Bill, could you
Yes.
unmute yourself? Do
Yeah,
you see,
I can see it.
do you see the
Actually, this
full
is
screen?
no, you got the PowerPoint in the slideshow mode. You haven't gone to full screen.
I understand that, but is there a picture of you a sidebar with your pictures in it?
I'm set up with a dual screen, so I don't have that.
I
Oh, you
don't
don't
see
have that?
anything like that, Bill.
Pardon me?
I don't see anything other than some things on the left panel, and I can't read them because the lettering is too small.
It looks like maybe it could be.
Oh,
I
I'm gonna
see
get
the
it
pictures of
larger, don't
everybody.
worry.
It's not our pictures, but it looks like that's what it's supposed to be.
You have
What's on your pic?
thumbnails on the left-hand side, and then the iPhone, iPad quiz, and which is your first slide, is big on the screen.
That's it. Okay.
I also have a picture of you in the
Oh.
bottom corner.
There you are.
Just went to full screen.
Yes,
Okay. Everybody have their pencil and paper? You can still see it, right? I didn't do anything weird. All right. First question, how do you activate Hey Siri on your iPhone?
I don't know. I don't have her.
You're going to write A, B, C, or D on your pieces of paper. Double press the side button, hold down the power button, triple press the side button, say, "Hey Siri," 5 times, or press and hold the home button.
You have at the bottom, answer A
You
or
have the answer too.
I've been wrong. Hold on a minute. We'll change that. I didn't flip them around. Hold on. Nope. And I gotta go down here, about 11. Do I have the answers on all of them? Oh, no. Oh, give me a minute, all right? Hold on a minute.
Oh, Bill. I just have to say, hey Siri, once.
Oh, is that that's one of the answers, you think?
It isn't
That's
there.
not one of the answers I gave you there.
No.
I found this on the web for Watts. Check it out.
Hey Siri. Oh, you never set it up. I don't know how to set it up. Just
No, I can't mute it.
saying, "Hey Siri," and she'll ask you some questions to get to know your voice. See?
That's what's gonna be an easy test.
Eat all the pretzels. You're over there. Okay. Hope it's on mute. I was on one with, like the group that is all over the country. Yeah. The APGUC or something like that. And they said, now, if you're gonna be eating anything, just turn off your video. Because they're, somebody would be eating lunch at all. And I'm sure.
We got so many time zones.
Oh, I know what I did wrong. Hold on a minute. Uh-huh.
How much more she's got left to eat?
Says 85 up in the corner, doesn't it?
Or 89, I can't tell.
Oh, that's right. We'll pull this out and put them in the case, get into that.
So sleeping all of a sudden. I just got up out of bed. Of course, I hadn't been asleep since about 4:30.
I'm surprised that way you should be able to see yourself.
Well,
I'll be
She must do something to get her,
monkey's uncle.
get her screen.
Maybe it's that spoon.
Could be. She's eating oats, oatmeal.
Do you really care?
I was in a Ford paddle, ceiling fan for a long time. That was a
Uh-huh.
pretty old house.
Yeah. Not even muted, I don't think. I can hear her still thinking. There must be some way we can make that smaller.
Um,
What is this arrow up here for?
that's just, it goes across and then we get different pictures. Different participants. See the participant, how many? There's a place down here that says participants. I don't see it. It used to be down there.
Let's try this again. All right. First question. We read that one already? And you probably know the answer. Second question. What does an arrow at the top left corner of the screen typically do? Close the current app, go back to the previous screen, open the notification center, access multitasking view. Question number 3. To adjust the brightness of your iPhone, you can sweep up from the bottom and use the slider, double tap the top of the screen, pinch the screen with 2 fingers, or press the volume buttons repetitively. Which gesture accesses the app library on your newer phones? Sweep down from the home screen, pinch the screen close, sweep diagonally from the top left to the bottom right, long press an empty space on your phone screen, sweep right to left multiple times until it comes up. Oh, I missed one. How does the red dot, what does the red dot on an application icon signify? An update is available. You have unread notifications. I wonder if that's the right answer. The app is using location services. It's incompatible with your phone. Number 6, how do you check your remaining battery percentage? Sweep down from the top right-hand corner. Ask Siri to tell you the battery level. Double press the lock button. Open the settings app and navigate to battery. Ooh, that's a good one. What's the name of the virtual assistant on your iPhone? Siri, Alexis, Google Assist, or Cortana? How do you access the control center on your iPhone? Sweep up from the bottom of the screen, sweep down from the top right corner of your screen, sweep left from the home screen, or sweep right from the home screen. Number 9. How do you force quit an app on your phone. Sweep up from on the home screen, sweep down on the app from the home screen. Double tap the home button and sweep up on the app. Double tap the home button and sweep down on the app. How do you delete an app on your iPhone? You press and hold the app icon until it jiggles, then tap the minus sign. Sweep up from the bottom, sweep up on the app from the home screen. Sweep down on the app from the home screen. Double tap the home button and sweep up on the app. That's how do you delete it from your phone. How do you turn off the iPhone? Press and hold the home button. Press and hold the power button. By the way, the term power button and side button are synonymous. C is press and hold the volume up button. Press and hold the power and volume up button. Press and hold the volume down button. And here we're talking about off being completely off, not put to sleep. What is the name of the button that turns the eye on the iPad? Middle of the iPad. What's the name? What's the name of the button that turns on your iPad? Should say, where's it located? Middle of the iPad, top right corner, on the side of the iPad, or top left corner? The answer is later. How do you turn off an iPad? You had that one, didn't we? Oh, this is an iPad now. And we switch from iPhone to iPad. Press the round button on the bottom of your iPad. It's called the home button. Press the on-off button or the power button or the side button and wait until the screen turns black. Hold the on-off button down until it says slide to power off. Press and hold the power button and volume button until it says slide to power off. Don't touch it anymore and the screen will go black. Again, we're turning it off. Which icon and percentage of where is the icon and percentage for the battery located on your iPad? Top left corner, bottom left corner, top right corner, bottom right corner. What icon do you need to press to change your wallpaper? Settings, you have to go to iTunes, you go to Notes, or you go to Videos. How do you reset an older iPad? Press and hold. And when we're talking here, it's again, turning it completely off, right? How do you reset an older iPad? Press and hold the sleep wait button and the home button at the same time for 10 seconds. Quickly click on the bottom, both the volume buttons, before holding the standby button until you see the Apple logo appear on the screen. Press the round button on the bottom of your iPad and press the on-off button, otherwise the power button, and wait until the screen turns black.
Bill, your question at the top is cut off.
Oh, you can't see it?
I mean, you can see the bottom of it, but not the whole question. Is it possible to move the screen down?
Oh, yeah. Just a minute, I just have to get back now. I think it's here.
That's good. Thank you.
How do you lock your screen orientation? Press the sleep wake button. Press the home button. Now, I'm being a little tricky here. The wake button is the power button, the side button, right? Press the home button. Access control center, then tap lock icon. Tap the lock icon. Sweep down from the top right corner of the screen to access the control center. Then tap the lock icon. That's an interesting one. What's the name of the button that turns the volume up and down on your iPad? Sleep wake button, home button, volume button, or mute button? How do you lock your iPad? Sweep up from the bottom. Press the home button. Double click the lock button. Enter your passcode. I'm sorry, it should be unlock, not lock. Number 20 is how do you search for something on your iPad?
I'm not sure I understand.
Sweep down from the middle of the screen to open Spotlight Search. Open the Safari app and type in the search bar. Ask Safari to search for it. All the above. The question is on your iPad. How do you adjust the volume on your iPad? Use the volume buttons on the side. Sweep up the control center and adjust the slider. Ask Siri to change the volume, or both A and B. That's an interesting one too. And number 22, how do you connect to the Wi-Fi on your iPad? Open settings, open the settings app and tap on Wi-Fi. Sweep down from the top right corner and tap on Wi-Fi icon. Ask Siri to connect to Wi-Fi or all of the above. Okay. And now for the answers. How do you activate Hey Siri? Depending on your device, it's either A or E. Double press the side button for Hey Siri. I'm sorry, press and hold it should be it should be anybody want to correct me there? Okay, you can go ahead and unmute yourselves. It should be D or E. I'm sorry, B is in boy or E. Hold down the power button, which brings up Siri. Now it could be D as well, right? So it could be B, D, or E. All those ways could activate Siri. Number 2, what does the arrow at the top left corner of the screen typically do? This is when you're navigating. What's the top arrow do? Is B, go back to the previous screen. To adjust the brightness of your screen, you want to access the control center is one of the ways to do that. And you sweep down from the, I'm sorry, sweep up from the bottom of the screen and use the slider. And this is on your iPhone, the older iPhones. or you sweep, that's the older iPhones now, or the ones with the home button, or you can sweep down from the top right-hand corner and get the brightness and adjust the brightness there. Which gesture accesses the app library on your newer phones? E is sweep left, sweep right to left multiple times until it comes up. Okay, everybody try that just to make sure it works. What does the red dot on an app signify? B, you have unread notifications. So if you have a red dot, it could even have numbers in it, but there's something you need to go to and figure out what it's doing. So an app is notifying you of something. That's B. How do you check your remaining battery percentage? Again, you want to go to the control center, right? So that would be A, sweep down from the top right-hand corner, and B, I'm going to try that on my phone. What's my battery level? Okay. So that's A and B. Number 7, what is the name of the virtual assistant on your phone? Siri. Number 8. My Siri was still activated. How do you access the control center? Sweep up from the bottom of the screen, sweep down from the top right-hand corner. How do you force quit an app? Sweep up from the home on the home screen, sweep down from on the app on the home screen, double tap the home button to sweep up on the app, double tap the home button and sweep down on the app. A and C are the right answers. A, if you have a newer device, no home button. If you have one with a home button, you double tap the home button to get the app screen, the active app screen, right? So I'm going to do that on my phone. I'm going to sweep up from the bottom and stop in the middle, and I get a list of the apps that are running. On the older phones with the home button, you double tap the home button quickly. How do you delete an app from your iPhone? Press and hold the app icon until it jiggles, then tap the minus sign. So I press and hold on any app or the blank screen, and they start jiggling. By the way, how do you get them to stop jiggling? Tap anywhere on the screen and they'll stop jiggling. How do you turn off your iPhone? Press and hold the home button. Press and hold the power button. That's the way you do it on the older phones. Press and hold the volume up button. Press and hold the power and volume up button. That's the way you do it. So it's B and D. Okay. Ooh. On your iPhone. Now we switch over to the iPad. What's the name of the button that turns on the iPad? Middle of the button? Top where? That should be where. Wow. AI doesn't do such a great job. Where is the button that turns on your iPad? Middle of the iPad, top right corner, on the side of the iPad, right? It's on the top right corner of your iPad.
I think mine's on the left, Bill, top left.
It is,
Yeah.
it depends on the orientation, probably.
Oh, okay, thank you.
That's on my top left. It's on my side of my iPad because I have it horizontal. If you turn it vertical, it's on the top right.
I got mine horizontal and it's on the top left.
Top side left, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Don. Thank you.
Thank you for. How do you turn off your iPad? This is iPad now. And it's C and D. Hold the on off button until the slider appears and you turn it off. Or D, press and hold the power and volume button. Okay, depending on the age of your iPad. If you have a home button, you can press and hold the power button. If you don't, you have to press and hold the power and volume up button concurrently. Where's the icon and percentage battery located on the iPad? Top left corner, bottom left corner, top right corner is where it's located. And if it doesn't have the percentage up there, you can go to settings and battery and have the percentage show up. What icon do you need to press to change the wallpaper? Settings. How do you reset an older iPad? Reset now. That means you want to turn it completely off. And we covered that question before, but it's press and hold the sleep wake button and the home button concurrently. How do you lock your screen orientation? You have to go to the control center and then tap the lock icon on the control center. What's the name of the button that turns the volume up and down on your iPad? The volume button. How do you unlock your iPad? The answer is D, enter your passcode. '20, how do you search for something on your iPad? This is a little bit of a trick question because I'm saying just the iPad primarily as you sweep up from the bottom to the middle of the screen to open the Spotlight Search app. Many of you said, well, I tap Safari. Well, that's searching the web. You can ask Siri, that primarily searches the web as well.
I just did what you said and I didn't get that. I don't know. I just press Google always.
The Google searches the web, not your iPad.
Oh, I see.
Let me cover that in a little more detail.
Yes, please.
Well, let me move this over here. If you put your finger down here and move it up,
Yeah,
you get, I'm sorry. If you put your, if you sweep down from the top,
yeah. I got the time and
just a
note.
minute. You sweep down, you put your finger in the middle of the screen. Here somewhere, either the iPhone or the iPad, and you pull it down, you'll get that little bar that comes up.
Yep, yep.
That's called Spotlight Search. It
Okay.
primarily searches your device for what you're looking for.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, good question. How do you connect to the Wi-Fi? Open the settings and tap Wi-Fi. Of course, you have to have, that's the way you get to the Wi-Fi networks that are available to you. And most of the time you have to have a passcode to do it. Last time we were talking about settings, and I was about to, and then today we're going to we finish on settings and talk about apps. Okay? So if you could open your settings app, that's the little one with the cogwheel, and you scroll down to where it says general. That's where we left off last time. And the first thing I'd like to point out there is where it says about. That's the information about your device. So that's a good place to go. And if you ever call Apple, they may ask you to go there and read off some of the numbers, the serial number and your model number. They may ask you to read those kind of things. By the way, the model number on mine, it says MX or MNX, whatever it says. If you tap that, go ahead and tap where it says model number.
I don't know why I lost you. I tapped general and now go down to model.
No, you tap general and tap about at the top of the general list, the general menu.
Okay, thank you.
Did you
Got it.
find it?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So I tap about, and there's the name of your device. Now, if yours says iPad, it'd be a good idea right now and just more personalize it. Mine says Bill's iPad Pro. And the way I changed that, we remember that this little arrow doesn't change anything. It just takes you to another menu, and you can click the back arrow to go back to this menu. So I'm going to click the arrow, and now I could edit or just delete what's there and put in, this is Amelia's iPad. No, don't put that in, but put your name in there so that you can, so that it's identified a little more clearly when you're working with other apps. Okay?
I've got my iPhone on there, Bill, which I use more so. So should I leave that?
Change it to put your name,
Yeah,
iPhone.
I've got Marianne iPhone. Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect, Mary Ann.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. And if you change the model number there, mine says A2759. If you put that into Google, it would give you all the information about your device. On my iPhone there, it says A2846. If I type that in a Google search, it would give me these specifications, etc., about that, about my iPhone 15. Below there, it tells you how much storage you're using and what's using it. So I have 3 songs on my iPad, 72 videos, 3,500 or so photos and 333 applications. My capacity is 256 and I have 228 available. So I have a lot available to me. On my iPhone, on the other hand, that's interesting. It says I have one song, 73 videos, 3,478 photos. I know I have more songs than that, so I'm not sure why that's not coming up correctly. That's interesting. Because if I go back to my music and I do my artists, and I go to, let's say, Adele, and one of the albums, right? I have those songs on my device.
Is this Apple Music or where did you get, how does the music work on your phone?
How does no, this is music I synced from my Apple library on my computer, or I downloaded from the Apple Music Store.
Bill, I have a
Okay.
question. Your applications are a different number between what you've got on your iPad and your iPhone. If it's going through iCloud, should it not be the same number of applications?
The model? No, should not.
Okay,
Because you can
all right.
I can delete them from my phone and they still on my iPad and vice versa. And not every app that I put on my device is suitable for the other one. So you could
Okay.
end up with a difference.
Okay, I somehow thought if it was all connected up in iCloud, that if you deleted it, I think I'm thinking of emails or photos or something. Once you delete it in one, it deletes it in all the other uh, uh, things that you have.
That's not what happens with the apps.
Okay.
What would you want a song on your phone for?
Why do I want music on my phone?
Right. I
Is
mean,
that
what
what
do you do with the music? You listen to it or
What do I do with it? I plug in my earpad phones, and when I go for a walk,
Oh, okay, thank you.
Also, in my car, it works through my car.
yes, you can play the music through. If you have a newer car, it plays it through Apple or CarPlay. If you have an external speaker, you can play the music into the external speaker.
Okay, thank you.
So I actually put many more songs on my iPhone than my iPad for that reason. Okay, so that was general and about. Then you have software update. And Ralph pointed out to me this morning, there is an update 17.3 that came out recently. It has not been automatically, didn't get put on my device last night automatically. It will sometime in the future. But I tapped on general, I tapped on settings and software update on both my devices. Settings, general,
Mhm.
software update. Now, don't
Yep.
do it now, folks, but 17.3. And they put a nice couple of, and we can talk about that a little bit next time. But 17.3, you usually try to update them. They should update automatically if you have that setting correct. Okay, and you see where the setting is there? It says automatic updates and it's on both my devices. And it
Mhm.
should update overnight at some time in the near future. At some time in the near future is the key there, because they can't update all, whatever million number of phones they have out there or iPads they have out there. So they update them sequentially when they can. Okay? If you wanted to update it, and don't do it now, you could tap where it says update now. I'm going to say update tonight.
They still might not get to it because they're so busy though.
That's correct. Very good point.
You have to have your equipment on for it to update, or
Yes, you do. You have to have it plugged in and can be asleep, but not powered down.
thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go back to general now.
You just said your equipment's asleep. Can you go over that at some point?
Okay, if I just hit the power button on my device, it puts it to sleep.
Huh.
We had a bunch of questions. In order to turn it off, you have to hold the power and the volume up button at the same time. And I'll do it on my phone here. I'm going to hit the power and the volume up, hold them, and it comes up with a screen that says slide to power off. You don't see that.
Oh,
Okay, because
You have to do both. You can't just turn the power button off.
power button puts it to sleep.
Okay,
Okay, it's like this. If you have a computer, it's like the screen goes dark, but the
yeah.
computer's still running.
okay,
It's exactly the same principle. But if I hold the power and the volume up button at the same time, comes up with that screen, and I can slide to power it off.
okay. Thank you.
Bill,
Yes.
it's kind of interesting how this new update shows up on here. It says for stolen device. It was on the news the other night that sometimes when iPhones are stolen, they're able to get into your bank accounts if you have those apps on your phone. So they had an example of a couple of people, $60,000 stolen, but it's kind of an odd thing. I think it will if you do something, it'll shut, you won't be able, they won't have access, or you won't have access to your iPhone for like an hour. It locks it.
The key thing is there are two things. One, in order for them to get into your iPhone, they have to have your passcode or your biometric. They have to have your face or fingerprint. So what's happened is person who stole your phone saw you put in your passcode, and now they have access to a lot of stuff. What Apple has done is added, if your phone is not at home or your iPad is not at home at your address, it will ask for more than just the passcode to make some of those changes. It will ask for your biometrics, your face or your fingerprint. So they've added the feature that you cannot do a bunch of these things like changing your banks or getting into that stuff without having biometrics. If
Would
you're
you
away
not
from
have, would you not have then needed to sort of, I'll call it officially, put your face or your fingerprint somewhere on the screen for Apple to know who you are? I haven't done it, for example, and so somebody stole this and they happen to, how would they get my biometric? How would they get my facial image?
if you don't, well,
I didn't register it,
let me answer the question. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't use your biometrics and you put 17.3 on there,
I didn't get that.
and
Could
you're
you try?
and you're out and about, if they the only way they can get into your phone is have your passcode,
Yeah,
the way your phone is right now. Okay. So they enter they see you enter the 4-digit code, and now they have access to your phone.
yeah.
Once they get access to your phone, they can do a lot of damage. Okay. Including changing your password by just having the passcode.
Yes.
So now you can't even get into Apple devices, and now they've got the password, and things get kind of nasty after that.
So repeat how we
This
block.
new feature says, hey, if you're out and about, you're away from your home, because it knows where, if you have Siri set up and you put your address in there, it knows where your home is. So you go out and about, it's saying, for me to make any of those changes and do any of that stuff, I got to have a face or fingerprint. So it's a good idea to set those up.
I do not use Siri, so I don't have it turned on. Therefore, Apple doesn't know my home address.
So you should set these things up so your device is more secure.
You set up Siri. Okay. I'll have to figure that one
No,
out.
set up Siri, let Siri know where you are, put in your biometrics.
And that's all through
Because
Siri.
right now, if I have your phone and I know your passcode, I can do some real damage to your stuff. I can
Do you
make
set,
your
sorry.
Apple unusable.
Do you set up biometrics, as you called it, through Siri?
No. Touch and passcode. We'll get to that in a little bit.
For example, I'm
Okay.
here, Bill, 4.5 months. So my home address is in Canada, and yet I'm
You
here.
can-
And if
You can
you know,
change that. You can change that. Okay. And I'll show you
Okay.
how to do that. All right. A couple of other things there. If you're going to give away your device, I think you all know I work the refurb project, and we
Yes.
redo computers, and I get donated devices. A couple weeks ago, I got a iPad Pro, and the person had not given us their passcode, and they had not reset it. I did not know who the person was, and I would probably never see them again, and I had to throw the device away because I could not access it. Apple will not allow me to access it. They won't give me any information unless I can prove I own it. And of course, I couldn't.
Yep.
So if you go to General and Settings, Settings and then General, and you scroll to the bottom of the General screen, it says transfer or reset your iPad.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to get rid of your device after you've got your new one and it's up and working, you would come down here and you would click where it says now don't do it now. I don't want you to mess up your device. I would click on the little arrow there, and it says erase all content in settings. Right? You don't want to do that until your new device is all set. When you're ready to give it away or trade it in or whatever, you would click right there, and it would it would convert your phone, delete all your apps, and start over and say, what language would you like to use? And take you from there.
Now, where are you in general? I got lost on
At the
another
bottom
screen.
of the general settings.
Okay,
Settings general at the bottom. It says transfer or reset.
So
Now-
you'd hit the get started to transfer over the information first?
When you get your new device,
Yes,
it asks you if you want to transfer.
yeah,
You can do it that way, but you start with the new device.
yes.
And there's two ways to transfer the data. One is directly from your old device to your new one. I usually do it through the iCloud, but
Bill,
yes.
I gave my iPad to my daughter and I didn't erase anything. What can I do?
Well, hopefully she did.
I,
Hopefully she doesn't.
Else
Bill,
she has access to all your stuff.
I transferred the device to her through Apple. Does that mean that
I don't know what you mean by it through Apple.
I told them that I was no longer the owner and that I gave them, the information for her.
How did
Okay,
you
so
do that?
They must have reset it.
Okay, all right. I mean, the information, obviously know her name and address kind of thing. They
Not her
have
name and
her,
address. You would have to have her Apple ID and password.
right. They actually had it on file, so they did it that way. I don't know her Apple ID, so that's what they did.
I doubt if they had her password on file.
Um, okay.
Was that a phone
Alright.
conversation? How did you do that? In the store or a phone conversation with Apple?
I had a phone conversation with Apple.
Bill, what's the reset part of at the bottom under transfer? What does reset mean?
Reset, that's the dangerous part, unless you're getting rid of your phone. That completely erases all the apps, contacts, everything that you put in your device and returns it to as if it were a new device and the person who's using it has to set it up.
So do you hit both of them? First of all, erase all content and settings once you've done the transfer, and then the reset?
You don't need to do the reset after that.
Okay, so it's basically doing the same thing, but you do the transfer over first. Okay.
Where
That's
is
for
the
old
part,
reasons.
What
Where
happens
is-
if you do a reset?
Pardon me?
where is the
I-
part on the phone where it lists all the devices you have? You find out all the devices you have on file?
If you go to settings, it's a good question. And you tap your name at the top and you scroll down, there's all the ones that I have on file.
Oh, okay, fine. All right. And it lists that I still have the MacBook Pro and I don't.
No, it lists it's in your cloud.
Oh,
That's all it's doing. It's saying these devices were you used at one time and you had them attached to the cloud and you backed your information up in the cloud.
okay.
So that information, so when you get a new device, it will say you put in your Apple ID and it says, which one of these devices would you like your new device to look like?
Okay.
And of course, you choose the most recent one.
And what is a contact key verification?
Pardon me?
Below everything, it says contact key verification.
I have not used that.
Okay. Thank you, whatever it is.
That's on here.
Okay, we'll continue on general. Oh, that's enough on general because we hit the bottom of the list. And this is for a little more advanced. If you wanted another keyboard, you have spoke another language fluently, you would say keyboards there and you would tap it. And mine says I have 5 keyboards. And I tap the 5 and it says you have English, you have one for emojis, you have a Korean keyboard, and I downloaded one with big keys. And I downloaded French Canadian. They're slightly different keyboards. And you could add another one there.
Hey, Bill,
Also, I have everything turned on as far as assistance. You know where it says autocorrect? I have autocorrect, smart punctuation, auto capitalization,
Bill,
enable caps lock. I
how
have
did
all
you
those
get that?
features turned on.
How did you get to that autocorrect? I want to make sure I have that.
Okay, you go to general
General, I was there,
and then you scroll down to where it says keyboard,
keyboard, okay,
and
okay,
then
autocorrect,
you get the
okay,
whole list there.
thank
So
you.
all of that, turn all of those on. You can, I don't know
Yes.
about you, but I can
Yeah.
use all the assistance I can get.
For sure, me
Okay.
too. Thank you.
All right. I think I showed you one feature there. If you tap keyboard, so if everybody goes to settings, general, keyboards. And a nice feature there, and this is a little more advanced, but I wanted to cover it with you. It says text replacement. See where it says text replacement there?
Yes.
Get it to work. Oh, yeah, right. Text replacement. What they have done is made it so you can, and we talked about this when I talked about keyboards, make it so you can have some shortcuts typing you can do. So if I set it up so that I could type my initials, WTC, and I press enter and my full name gets typed. So that's what we mean by a shortcut in the keyboard area. So if you tap that, you'll see a bunch of things there. I can tap in HA and it will say, hi all. Now you may have not done any of these. And I and at sign, I will be late. All right. Or IBT will be I be right there. IWBT, I'm sorry, I will be there. OMW on my way. Those are defaults that may appear on yours. You can get rid of them if you wish. And there's WTC, is William T. Crow. Now, the only problem with that is if your initials happen to be something that's familiar, like MBA, and you're typing in, MBA or MB or anything that, or IBM. If my initials were IBM, Ivan, Ivan, Bill,
McDonald's.
Anderson, right?
Emmy or something.
And I wanted IBM instead of that. How would you get it? So there's WTC, would type in WT Crow. The way in which you would set that up, and I'll cover that first. You hit the plus sign. You type in your phrase that you would like it to show up, and then you type in the shortcut you would like to use. So what I did is I typed my name up here. I'll just make it Bill Crow this time. Oops, wrong keyboard.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that sounds good. Bro.
Come on.
I'm glad you're reviewing this, Bill, because I intended to get to it, but I never got to it, and it's so good.
That's right. And then I'm going to type in BC. Oops, BC. So if I type BC, it will type Bill Crow. I'm going to save it. So now if I go to notes, I can go anywhere, any place where the keyboard shows up. And I'll go here where I have the 1, 2, 3. If I type in BC space, there's Bill Crow.
Bill, I tried some of that and the problem was it was like remembering a whole bunch of new passwords.
Well, I know that's why you don't do a lot of them.
And the other thing is if you have, for instance, if you had BA instead of BC and a word starts with BA, it would type in
Not the word. If you type in BC 1, 2, 3, 1 I and then space, it doesn't do it. It has to be BC followed by a space.
Okay, thank you.
How do you delete? I made a mistake.
Same way you would any other place.
Oh,
When you're
edit at the
typing,
bottom. I
hit
see, edit at the
backspace.
bottom. Yeah.
I don't like the new punctuation though. They put commas where I don't want them.
Well, you can get rid of that then.
Can you? How do you do that?
You're in settings, you go to punctuation and turn off auto punctuation.
Well, I like some of the punctuation, but when I say
I
the
know.
words, so you either have it or you don't, I guess.
So let me show you something. Let's assume BC, right, was something I wanted to type. So if I hit the space bar right now, I'll get Bill Crow. You see where it says BC down here?
Yes.
And then it says Bill Crow. If I click on the BC, it's just going to leave it as BC. So if you happen to have the initials MBA and you wanted the abbreviation for Masters of Business Administration,
It's real handy if you want to put in your email address or something. I have two
yes,
symbols. It's very
yeah,
handy that way. Because I
exactly.
just put add and
I had one person who had was a physical therapist, and he had all his recommended exercises written out, like exercise E1, E2, E3, and he had a whole paragraph typed in the text to be the text that would replace what he typed. So when he got done with me, he says, "I want you to do E1, E3, and E5."
wow.
And he went to his iPad, typed in E1 space, got a whole paragraph. E2 space got another paragraph, and E7 space got a fourth paragraph and printed it out.
Oh,
So he went to the extreme, I think, on using this by making it a whole paragraph replaced the phrase, or the shortcut he would type. The phrase was a entire paragraph.
Well, you could do that with any kind of quotes or anything.
Exactly.
That's neat.
But I like your address. I like your email address. @ would probably be a good one for that. So I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to add a new one. And the phrase would be, Oops, wrong keyboard again.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna do it on I'm gonna do it on my iPad, I like my keyboard better there.
Yeah, me too.
General, keyboard,
Text
text
replacement.
replacement.
Mhm.
I'm gonna add one. And I'm gonna say E @ Okay. So now I can use that anytime. I was just wondering if it shows up on my iPhone as well.
Hey, Bill, I'm not sure how to erase those. You said it, but I didn't get it.
Oh, I didn't know.
How do I erase them?
And I think at the bottom it said delete, and then the little red circle comes up beside it. Or edit. Something like.
That's the way you erase one. You can slide it to the left.
Never mind, I see it. I just had to hit delete.
And if you tap done, there's the minus sign. Tap edit. You can do it that way as well. Oh, I was going to see if it transposed over to my iPhone.
It did mine.
Did it?
Yep. Mhm.
I updated one and it transferred.
Yep, they did. So
That's nice, yeah.
isn't that amazing? It goes through the iCloud. Everything. You
What
just
is,
use the iCloud, whether you knew it or not.
what is the one on your settings? Why is there a one on your settings?
The update?
Yeah, that's the update.
Oh, okay, thank you.
There's a one on general too, I bet. Yeah. Hey, there's a one here on general.
Is it? Oh.
Didn't show up as a one on my iPad though. That's interesting.
Hmm.
All right. And let's see if we got everything in general.
Wait,
Uh,
hey,
we
Bill,
talked about yes, go ahead.
I'd like to ask a question. On mine, if we go to the model number and I click on it,
You tap
gives
on
one-
it, yeah.
if I click on it, it gives one number, and then if I touch it, it gives another number, changes.
I know.
So what is that? What is the significance of that? Anything?
Jim, the one that I always use is the A number.
Okay,
I don't know what the MTM 43LL/A. That must be an internal model number that it may be an international number. I don't know, but
okay,
I just use the A one.
Okay.
thank you.
Yep. Oh, we want to talk about the control center next. Here's the control center. You can tap that. Well, let's not tap it yet. We had a bunch of questions on the control center on our little quiz we had earlier. How do you access the control center on your device? If you pull down from the top right-hand corner of your device, and that would be up here or up here. Is everybody able to get the control center that way?
Yep.
Yes.
Everybody get that?
Yes.
And they developed the control center to give you quick access to a bunch of different things. And by the way, there's only one place you can lock the rotation of your screen. And that's in the control center. It's right here, has the lock,
Oh, yeah.
If you'll notice on my iPhone over here that the lock is closed. That means if I rotate my phone, it will not rotate the screen. On my iPad, the hasp on the lock, if you look really closely, really close, the hasp is unlocked. And if I tap it, it turns red and locks the rotation.
Mine is red.
But that's the only place you can do that on your device. The control center has quick access to, for example, putting it in airplane mode, turning on and off Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or cellular. A quick place I could start music. This particular feature is sharing your screen. And I'm not going to get too far into that. This is a way you could project what you have displayed on your device onto your television. So if you have a Roku or one of those devices, and you can get to the Apple app, you open the Apple app, and then you just click this thing right here. I'm going to click it. And it shows you the different devices you can hook to. And there's my Samsung TV. Right now, I'm projecting it onto my computer. There's a way to do that as well. But I can project whatever's on my phone onto the TV. So I can go get a movie, for example, on my iPad here. If I got a movie on my iPad, I could have it playing with sound out of my television.
Do I need to put a
Okay.
gizmo on the back of my TV to do that?
Say
I got
again, please.
I got a Samsung, and I think I had some Roku thing put there, but I don't know what it does. So
So if
do
you
we
do
need-
this when you're near the television and it says Samsung, you're
Uh-huh.
there.
Okay, thank you.
If
And
it
fires,
doesn't, bring up your Roku and see if you have an Apple app.
thank you.
I
Bill.
touched the
Okay.
I touched the whole thing and I'm on screen mirroring. And how do I get back? How do I get out of screen mirroring?
What's
See, like
that?
what mine is on there?
I'm sorry?
I said, you mean like mine is on there, Kathleen?
Um,
Right, right
I
here.
have, wait a minute, whoa. I don't see. I touched the screen mirroring and then I have the pages of screen mirroring and it lists my iMac, but how do I get out of that page?
It's hard to.
You want it to stop mirroring, or you want this
I wanted to
display to disappear?
stop mirror, well, I wanted to stop the page, I want to get out of the page.
The
You want to
mirroring.
get out of that sidebar. You just tap somewhere else on the screen.
Oh, okay, that
And if
was
you're
simple. Thank you, yes. And if I don't have a television or anything else, it sort of doesn't, there's nothing I can do without a television. It only goes to my iMac, is that right?
well, it goes to your iMac, you could do it that way. Or if you had a television, you could do it that way. But
Okay,
it's a way to display what's on. It's called screen mirroring. You can mirror what's on your device on that
Okay.
other thing.
thank you.
Bill,
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 do you have to have a Bluetooth on your television and your iPad to make connection, mirroring connection?
Don't know. I would try it. Just go, if you're sitting by your television and you have your device, tap the icon.
Bill,
If you have, for example, it says I can connect to my Samsung TV there. Most of the time, the smart TVs would show up with that. If you have an older TV, you could have something called Apple TV, which is a little box you can buy, or Roku. if you have
What
a
about
Roku
Fire
and you put,
Stick?
say
Fire
again,
Stick? Fire Stick?
Fire Stick as well, yes.
Okay.
Fire Stick is good, yeah.
Okay, Bill,
Go ahead.
okay. On my TV, I have what's called a smart TV. And I can do the screen mirroring and it will show photographs and print and stuff. But if I try to show a movie from my iPhone to the TV, it says it can't do that. Why is that?
Good question. I would Google it. I have no idea. Mine works no matter what thing I'm trying to project. It projects it.
Well, mine projects everything except the movie. It won't do a movie though. Okay.
Huh.
In the space next to the mirroring, you have Apple TV in white, and I have a sound thing with a cross through it. Does that mean that if I want to put anything on my iMac, I need to turn on the sound, or?
Yeah, that's the sound coming well, because I'm mirroring, it says Apple TV. It should say volume here.
I have the
Also,
volume
over
with a
here is
cross.
here's where you change the brightness of your display.
No, to the right of that, you have mine has a sound thing with a line through it, so I don't have any sound, and I'm not sure what I don't have sound on.
Well, you push your button here and you can pull it up or down.
Oh,
If you put your finger on the screen there.
now
Sounds like
where is
she's
it
got it on
pulling-
mute.
Where is it pulling the sound up or down? I mean, what part of it?
Right here, see where the little dot is on the screen? I put my finger here and I can pull it down or up.
Is this affecting the sound for the iPhone, for the TV, for what is it? What sound is it going up or
It should
down?
be the sound on your device.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I got it off. No wonder I can't hear.
Bill, Bill, I've got different icons on my cell phone, like the 16 that you've got down below. Have you chosen to put some of those on there, which would make a difference?
I'm going to cover that in a minute.
Okay, okay. Yep.
Because I don't have all those. I don't know.
Okay. Now, down below here, we're not going to spend any time on focus. That's just a way in which you can be using your phone to, if you're studying, you can set up different features that won't bother you or will bother you. I have a bunch of what we'll call them apps here that I can access. See them?
Yes.
Camera. I'm not sure what that one is. Here's the flashlight. Here's the battery. See all these different apps here? Now you may have different things there. All right?
How do you put them there?
How do you get them there and get them off there? Here's one that can change the size of your text. Right?
Mhm,
Here's one where I could set my alarm.
mhm.
Here's
Say that again.
Shazam.
The size of
Okay.
text was with the magnifying or where? There? Okay, because my computer's not good. Okay.
This just changes the size of the text. If I click it, I can make the text larger or smaller everywhere on my device.
Thank you.
That's useful.
Okay?
Why do you have all of those things at the bottom and I have like something like nine of them or 5 of them? Why don't I
How did
have?
I do that? Huh? That's amazing.
I'm sorry?
I say, how did I do that? That must be amazing. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the control center and I'm going to go to settings.
Of course.
Everybody go to settings and then control center in settings.
Okay.
And this is a beautiful idea, a way of showing you settings is the way you can make an app work differently. you go to the app to use it. In this case, I'm going to the control center. And here's a list of all the apps that are included in my control center. And down below are apps that I can add to my control center. Now, you may
Oh,
have a different set of apps there, but we should be relatively the same. See those?
yeah.
Now, the minus sign beside it means that I'll remove it from my control center. So I can remove the Apple TV remote. And I just removed it by tapping it. When I remove it, it shows up in the list below.
How do you know which ones you want on your control center or not?
Well, you play the ones that you want to use. Okay, you can play with it and put whatever ones you want there. They're of your choosing.
Of course, the main thing is, do you use your control center?
Right.
Because if you don't, why have 50 apps on it?
Right. I'm looking at the list and I'm saying we could spend 10 or 15 minutes on each one of those items.
Right.
If I go down on the green and put the plus, does that put it in my control center?
Yes, it will.
It certainly will. Ta-da-ta-da.
So for the beginners, if it shows up with a plus sign and you tap the plus sign, when you tap, it's called an action. And you're saying it's an action button. It's not what it is, it's what it will be. So if I tap dark mode, it shows up here in the control center somewhere. There it is at the bottom. And you can rearrange the control center. Whenever you get a list of things with the minuses, for example, here, see the minuses? I can remove one. I'll remove timer. I click that and I click remove. Now it shows up down in the lower list.
Ah, so you don't lose it. Good.
No, and
Okay.
then you can change the order of them so that I want quick note to be at the top. This graphic is really nice. Yeah, I'm pressing and holding those parallel lines, and I'll put it clear up here in the top. So now when I see the control center, this will be at the top left-hand corner of the control center items. So those parallel lines are a way to change the order that things appear in a list.
That's cool. Mhm.
Is that cool?
I
I
always
like the
wondered what
graphic
I wondered
that they
what they
give
were
you,
for.
right? Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
That's the control center, folks. We can have a class I think I do later on, have a class just on the things that are in the control center and how to use them. Display and brightness is the next thing in settings that I'd like to cover. So if everybody could go back to the settings menu and go down to display and brightness. Okay. And we can adjust text size here as well. And it shows you if you click on, well, let me start at the top of the list there. Light and dark mode, if you change it to dark mode, that's what it does. Change it back to light mode. What they say is, or what Apple tells us, is that if you go to dark mode, in the evening, it's much easier on your eyes to be in dark mode.
I don't like it.
And this
That
whole
means-
block, I just click the little dot and it changes it, right?
Why do you have light until 9 PM instead of sunset?
It's up to you. Well, this whole section, it says appearance. I have it set to automatically. And I can change. So it goes from sunset to sunrise, or I can customize it
Okay,
and say light mode at 7 a.m., changes back to dark mode at 9 p.m.
even
Okay?
though it's darker before 9 PM.
I'm just saying there's a way to adjust it.
Okay, all right.
You can have it be automatic, or you can customize it the way you would like.
And in order for the sunset to sunrise work, you need to have the surface of your screen uncovered so it sees the natural light, or because I have cover on my iPad. Or is it by,
it knows the location where you are.
okay,
This is pretty
it knows that-
complicated when you think about it.
Yeah.
It knows where you are, so it knows the approximate time that the
Yeah.
sun will rise and sun will set based on your location on the globe.
Just like
Which
the
means-
clock
So it
changes.
doesn't matter if it's covered or not.
Mhm.
which means I need to have Siri on in order for it to know what address I have, which means I also have
No.
to put in the Florida address. No, or it's actual,
No,
the actual
no, this
iPad.
is this is location. This is GPS. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Okay,
have
so
anything to do
wherever
with
the
Siri.
iPad is, then it can sense it. Is that it?
It knows where it is as well.
Okay, all right.
Mostly it goes by your clock. They know where you're at. You know how they change your clock when the time changes or when you go to a different time zone. So I'm sure they go the same,
Yeah.
same with sunset and
Yeah,
sun.
so it's within the iPad and the iPhone and not you're writing in an address of
Correct.
physical station. Okay.
That's a
Interesting.
good, who was it mentioned that about the time zone you're in?
Barbara Cable.
It knows the time zone you're in by GPS though. So
Yeah,
it may use the time zone versus checking the GPS.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. In either case.
They
it
know
keeps
where
track.
you're at.
I'm
Big
just
brother.
amazed at this. I'm just amazed at the sophistication of these things myself all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, the presentation this week will be on computers to the moon. The monthly presentation for Stug. And he's gonna tell you
Call from wireless caller.
he's going to tell you that the computers that we launched are astronauts to the moon are far less powerful than your iPhone.
Oh.
Now he's not going to tell you that we could launch astronauts with your iPhone, but your iPhone's processor and its capability of doing calculations is 1,000 times better or more better than the computers that were used to launch our astronauts. So the technology has moved a lot. Moving on to display and brightness, text size you can change. I like to have bold turned on. Okay, I think it makes crisper letters. Here's where you can adjust the brightness, true tone, and you can't see it on your device when I modify the True Tone, but if you turn on True Tone, it gets rid of the taupe.
It gets rid of the what?
The taupe coloring. Bright light versus cool light, or versus sunlight versus cool light.
So how do you know what True Tone is when you turn it on versus when you turn it off? What difference, what does one
If
do?
you
with the
watch your
other?
screen, just tap your screen and you'll see the screen change color slightly when you
Okay,
turn it on and off. One has
So-
more of the blue color. One has more of the taupe color.
more of a which color?
Taupe.
Taupe, Taupe.
Thank you.
AUPE.
It's your Massachusetts accent.
uh, light brown. How's
Oh,
that?
I see. Okay. All right, fine. Here we go. Taupe, right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Used
it's
to be an ES, I
beigey.
used to be an ESL teacher, so I recognize the
Oh.
different pronunciations.
So why would you want one instead of the other?
Oh, the taupe I think is much easier on your eyes. The taupe.
Oh.
In fact, my wife does not like the blue light, the bluer color. I think that's the cool light, right? That's the cool. Anyway, the next thing down there is auto lock. Now, this is what I don't want you to do is set yours like mine is. Mine says never.
Yeah.
The reason I have it set on never is the class here. I'm switching back and forth between my iPhone and iPad, and I don't want either of them to shut off during my class. What you should have is something like if you tap never there, where I tap never on my iPhone and iPad, you should have something like on your iPad, maybe 5 minutes, and your iPhone, maybe 2 minutes. Because the screen is the largest consumption of power from your battery.
Mhm.
So if you have it set on 2 minutes and you don't touch your screen for 2 minutes, it will go to sleep and shut off the screen.
It looks like you haven't set up any.
Okay. And when I get done with class, I will shift mine back. I will shift my phone back to, I think, 2 minutes, and my iPad to 5. It could be 2 minutes, find something that's convenient for you so it doesn't go to sleep while you're using it.
While you're using it.
Yeah. In other words, the main reason for that is if you get up, the phone rings and you go answer the phone, you forget you left your iPad on.
Yeah.
It will shut off itself. It will turn off
Yeah.
the screen or go to sleep automatically after that time period.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. The other one there is raised awake. You put down your phone and you want it to automatically turn on the screen when you pick it up. That's called raised to wake. All right.
I don't have that on my, and I've got lock and unlock.
What does always on display turned off or on mean? That was the last one on the before you went here.
You're
Display,
not sure.
display zoom. What does
Mine
that?
says default, right?
Uh-huh,
and it's a zoom feature. So I have mine at default.
yes,
You can play with it, see which one you like better.
okay.
I think, for example, if I have more space, I can get more things on the screen. The apps will be smaller, for example.
Mhm.
The app pictures will be smaller.
Okay.
What does always on display mean?
Uh,
Says your screen will turn off when the iPhone is locked, but what does that, what are they, what does that mean?
I'm not sure where you're looking.
The under display at the very bottom.
Mine says default zoom.
Oh, you know what? I think your one is 17.2 and I think you had 17.1. So I think you're one behind me. So maybe that's the difference.
Mine says display zoom.
Okay, well,
Yeah, mine does too. Mhm.
okay, well, all right. Okay, that's okay.
All right. Home screen and app library. When you download an app, do you want it to show up on your home screen and the app library or just the app library? And if you get a notification of some kind for an app, do you want it to show up in the app library as well as the home screen?
I just put them on.
I just have them on.
Me
And
too.
show on home screen. Show what on homes? Oh, search. Okay. Accessibility. Primarily, the reason for accessibility is for Apple has come up with a whole bunch of different things you can do to assist in using the device if you have Parkinson's, for example, or you have low vision, or you have hearing issues. Okay. So the first set there, I'm not going to cover any of them. I've done a whole class on accessibility for Parkinson's folks, but
Mm.
the accessibility breaks this into some different features. Vision, for example, zooming and text size and things like that.
Wow, yeah.
Physical and motor skills. If you have trouble touching the screen or you want it to register your touch when you first touch it versus when you lift your finger off it.
Bill, how did you
Because if
get to that screen? Sorry for interrupting. How did you get?
settings,
Yes.
accessibility.
Thank you. Yeah,
If you have
thank you.
hearing issues, and then if you have speech issues. Okay, so they have a lot of different features to be looked at there if you're in that category. I'm not going to cover any of them. I'll make you aware it's there. And if you're having problems, either touching your device, being able to see it, etc., here's where you would go. Here's where, if you put the question into Google, they'll lead you here, be able to change some particular features. Wallpaper. If we tap on wallpaper, it shows you what my wallpaper, it shows you what it looks like. And you can have several, let me let me back off a minute. For each wallpaper selection you have, there's a wallpaper for the lock screen, and there's a wallpaper for your app screen, or what we'll call the home screen. And there's the pair on your screen. You can set up multiple pairs.
Wait, how did you get to there now? I don't get that.
No, not very good.
You go to settings, display, settings and wallpaper.
What's after settings?
Wallpaper.
Settings and wallpaper.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, found it. Okay.
Settings, you scroll down the list of settings to where it says wallpaper.
Yeah, okay.
I found it on my iPad, but not my phone. I'm in settings.
I've got settings and wallpaper on both my devices right now. And you'll notice I have different wallpaper
Oh, I found it.
on
Thank
my
you.
iPad than I have on my iPhone.
Right. I do too.
Okay. And you see the word customize there? Let me choose the one that's on my phone right now. It says customize. So I tap the word customize. And now I can select the coloration on it. I can go to my pictures and select a different picture that I would want. Let me do that. Let me go to all. Oh, no. Let me find a waterfall here that I want to use. So I picked that picture. It's not water, but that's okay. And there's a bunch of other things I could change there. I'm not going to get too detailed into that. All right. And then I tap done.
So,
Now I could customize my home screen in that pair. I could go to photos. Let me add that one. Okay. And I'll tap done. So I have a kudu on one side and the home and the winter scene on the other. And now if I go back, ooh, wait a minute. It should have come up. No, it didn't. Whoa. Well, I want to set that one as current, right? So now I have that scene. Now, hopefully you're all playing with this a little bit.
I'm trying.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the thing they have is multiple pairs you can set up. So if I want that pair on my iPad, I can set it as the current. And I could customize either one of them. So let me customize this one.
I like that.
Now, is there a way I can make this my picture? I don't see a way to do that. So I'll get a different pair here. I'm going to add a new pair. Ah,
Yeah.
I'm going to choose that picture. And they really complicated this by adding different widgets on the left-hand side. So I'm just going to add that one. That one's fine. And I'm going to set that as my pair. So now when I turn on my iPad, I get this.
Mine's good enough.
Are you going to tell us how you got all that extra information down the left-hand side?
It was automatic when I picked this particular thing.
Okay.
But
So
I
another
can do
image
that.
wouldn't necessarily have that stuff on it then.
Well, if I go here and add a wallpaper on my iPad now, I started a
Yes.
new wallpaper. I click the plus sign and I pick one that's here somewhere. Suggested photos.
Hmm.
It automatically shows up that way.
But it wasn't when the original with your wife's picture on it. There was none of that on it, correct? Oh, no, there it is. You've done something to add to it.
Well, then there's the photo shuffle. And then there's the weather. And then there's
Yeah.
so there's
Yeah.
all these different collections for the iPad.
I got weather on the iPad, Bill, but I don't have it on the phone and I want it. So how do I get it?
Yeah, you don't a little harder on the phone
Okay.
to get
Oh, you know
to
what?
get the
It
weather.
showed up. It showed up. It's good. I got it. Thank you.
No, if you're adding a new one,
Yeah.
you have these kind of things. There's weather,
Okay. Thank you.
kaleidoscope, emojis. So let me pick weather here. Choop.
Okay.
And I'll set that one.
Thank you.
Now, what I hope I'm doing is encouraging you to start just poking and hoping, right? Poke at it a little bit, see what it does, right? I was going to say, how do you get rid of one if you don't like it?
Easy.
No. Or do I just keep adding different wallpaper? Wow. There's got to be a way to,
What? How do you get rid of one?
how do you get rid of one?
Yeah.
It just says add a new one, and then that one
I
goes
know.
away.
No, I got all these that I've got. Oh, if you click add a new one to the one
Mhm.
that's there, that's just going to come start over again, right? I don't want to lose that one. That one's a nice one.
Oh, okay, yeah, mine, I just had one.
Let's see if I pick one down here, kaleidoscope, right? See what that does. Nope. So I'm wondering, how do you get rid of one that you've added.
And that one didn't, the kaleidoscope didn't have all that showing down the left-hand side, the clock.
I know. They have
Yeah.
different things on them.
Okay,
And probably you can add things down the side if you want. Yeah, see, it says add a widget. But I'm not going to go there.
okay.
Hey, Bill, are you still with us?
Yes,
Okay,
you have
somebody
to go into
should,
it.
go ahead.
I think you're gonna have to adjust your widgets, or does that do it
No, I
from
want to
there?
know how you get rid of a wallpaper entirely, how you delete it.
Okay, I'll check that.
There's some nice wallpaper there. I'm going to use that
That's a pretty one, yep.
one. All right, I want to get to Siri and search here. Siri and search. All right. iPhone and iPad. And Bill, you can break in when you find out how you delete a wallpaper. um, Siri and search.
What do you want
You
to
can
search
have
for?
your device. You can have your device listen for SIRI or
Okay, I found this on the web for device for Siri. Check it out.
Is that me? Is that me?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, sorry.
Or you can have it respond to HEY SIRI. Right? By turning that on. When you turn it on, it's going to ask you, it's going to try to record here. Let me do it once here.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to
Oh,
use.
sorry.
Okay, that's all right. You got ahead of me. Here's what would happen if you wanted to set up Hey Siri. So I'm going to do it and your guys may go off, but it asks you to read a bunch of expressions. So it currently says how to set it up. I'm Hey Siri. I'm tap it. Siri. Siri, how's the weather? I got to turn off Siri there. Hey Siri, send a message.
Hey Siri, can you
Siri,
send me?
set up a timer for 3 minutes.
Who do you want to message?
Hey Siri, get directions home.
To who?
Siri, play some music.
To my house?
I
Okay.
wasn't able to find my house in your Apple Music library. Search on Apple Music or ask for it on a different app.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's the way you would set up Siri.
No. That
Do
was
you want to
press
allow Siri? You can have Siri go if you press the button, the power button, or
Bill,
press and hold the home button if you have a home button. You can have it speak different languages. Be sure you can speak that language when she comes up. All right. And I have it set for a different voice there. Right. So I could have different Australian voices.
Why is it on voice 2 versus voice 1? When I looked at mine, it had like 5 voices on it.
That's right. Depending on the language you choose, it may
Ah.
have many different, like English American, I think, has
Okay.
4 or 5 voices.
Yes, that's what it was set on initially.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Right.
On Siri response, right? I like to get the text response. So always show Siri captions and always show the speech that it gives. Okay,
Okay.
and I
Hey,
prefer.
Bill, I got the answer for you.
Go ahead, go, please. Wallpaper.
Yeah. I looked at the iPad one. It said instead of using the buttons to unlock the iPad and going to the apps page, press your finger down anywhere on the lock screen, and after a few seconds, it will prompt you to unlock it. It will then open up the wallpaper edit options, and you can swipe up to delete.
Wow.
You never guess that one, huh?
Well, so say that again, Bill, please.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it while you're saying it, okay?
Okay, on your iPad,
iPad, okay,
go to your
lock screen.
lock screen. Hold your finger in the middle of the lock screen for a few seconds.
And then you
And
can
it brings
swipe it
the
up.
edit.
Oh, and I can swipe up any one of them.
Yes.
Oh, so
Oh.
somebody gets a hold of my iPad, they could get rid of all my lock screen. Got it. So on your lock screen, press and hold it, then you can delete that wallpaper.
Okay.
There we go.
That's a nice one. Keep that one.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
A lot of good information today. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I want to cover a couple other things on Siri before I sign off. Siri response. The key one here is my information. Is that's Siri? The key one, stop.
What? Under what now?
The key one here is my information. And I'll bring it up on both the iPhone and the iPad here.
Oh, okay. Oh my God.
What you do is you have your name in contacts, and the more information you put in your name, the better Siri gets. So, for example, mine's pointing to Bill Crow. I tap it, and it says, "Oh, you want to change it to some other person?" No, I want it to stay at Bill Crow. So I go down to the C's, and I tap Bill Crow. Here's the information I have in Bill Crow. I have my 2 phone numbers. I have my 2 email addresses. I have the ringtone, if I call myself. I have 6234 Buckingham Street as my address, my birthday. By the way, if you put people's birthday, so by the way, information in their contact information, it will show up in your calendar. So if I knew the birth date of, let's say, Max here, if I knew his birthday, I could go to Max, put in his birthday, and it would show up in my calendar. But I've added my spouse, my grandson, my daughter, that should be my sister. I better change that. So I'm going to tap edit, go down here to where I added relationships. I'll change daughter to sister.
Bill,
I have my wife, my son, my daughter-in-law, a friend, my grandson. I have him there twice. I can get rid of one of them.
Bill, when I press my information, I get lists of certain contacts.
I get my whole contact list.
I don't
Me
want
too.
that
Yeah, me too.
What do you get?
list of contacts, not all of them, but some that I really don't, they're not my main ones.
I get my contact list starting with A.
Me too.
That's on the left-hand column. You have to select your name.
Yeah, I want my information, my name, Mary Ann, and it gives me
Okay, we're,
contacts.
let me explain.
Okay,
First of all, you make sure that all your information is in your name. So you go to contacts, find your name, and then edit and make sure all the information is filled in.
okay,
Oh, okay.
thank you.
Addresses, birthday, and you can put other people that are relatives of yours, add a related name, but they have to be in your contacts.
Thank you.
So you'd put your birthday under your notes? I'm looking at my own
No,
name on my contact list.
no, there's a place to put your birthday.
Okay, maybe for another lesson.
Right there it is, in front of on my iPad. Right, you can
You have
add
to
a birthday.
select edit.
Ah,
Yes,
thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
Edit. Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Email, work, address, birthday. That's it. Edit. So we put the information in under edit.
Mhm.
What's social profile? That would
Now let's not go there. Come on,
no.
stick
Okay.
with me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, we're there.
all right.
Mhm.
So once you've done that, then you go to settings and you add your name in there. See, now Siri knows where you are. And if I'm out and about, and I know I go and help people with their computers, and I'm in one of these gated communities, the road to get out is not necessarily that straightforward. I just pick up my phone and say, Siri, take me home. And it gets directions for home. Now it doesn't, you'll notice it did that on my phone, and I'm 1 minute from there. Okay.
What if you have two homes?
Then you would change your address when you're in the other home.
Oh, okay. You can don't put both down.
Yeah, it has nowhere to take you. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you had two addresses, it would say which address.
Which one? Yeah, it probably would. Yeah, because they probably know you're in Florida instead of in Michigan, right?
Well, it would still say which address would you like me to use. For example, my wife has two phone numbers, and if I say call my wife, it will say which phone number.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I did that in one of the classes, and I had my wife's name in there twice. And it came back and said, which one?
Which wife, right?
Which one for my wife? Yeah. Got it. All right. All right, everybody.
Okay.
We didn't get to the App Store, but we will next time. We got through a majority of the key ones that I wanted to get to
Yeah, we did pretty good.
for right now. Okay.
Billy,
The
you're
only
in the
one
room. Sorry.
the only
Go
one
ahead.
one I want, the only one other one I'm going to mention is you see where it says mine says Face ID and passcode. That's
No.
where you would go to set up. It may say Touch ID and passcode, but that's where you would go to set that up.
Is it on the screen right now? I don't see those words.
If you're looking at settings,
Yes.
and you scroll down to where it says, mine says Face ID and passcode. Yours probably
Oh,
says passcode
okay.
and Touch ID.
Yes. Sorry, I thought we were still in Siri. Okay,
Now I got out of Siri.
yeah, understood.
And then here's where you would add if your Touch ID or face code, depending on the age of your device.
Okay,
All right?
yes.
Yes, thank you.
Billy, you're in the Refurb Center shop on Monday?
No, I probably won't be. I have to
Sorry,
finish-
I gotta leave, people. Thanks a
Okay,
lot.
William,
Bye.
thank you. No, I probably won't be there Monday.
Okay,
I'll be there Wednesday.
okey doke.
Okay, everybody,
Thank you.
let's
Thank you.
close this.
Have a nice
Let's go and enjoy the warmth while we still
Thanks,
have it.
Bill.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Good week.
Thank you, Bill. It was a good class.
All right.
Thank you,
By the way,
Bill.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get through settings, the general touching the screen and things like that, because that applies to everything. And then we start going through the applications. And the one we start with next time, I think, is messages. And then we'll do email. These are some of the most frequently used ones. Messages, email, and Safari are the primary ones we use most often. And that's what I'm trying to get through. So next time we'll do a little bit on the App Store and then messages. All right.
Okay.
See you next time, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, Bill.
Again.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.